Man City are going to play with a back.
The referee, so here they come. It is the third time, incidentally, the Shield. A surprising move. A few weeks did last season. Nothing can surprise you, really. And Fernando Torres will be hoping not to surprise us, because we know what a fine player he is. Manchester City had prepared in Austria, then in the Far East. They've actually woven a couple of extra games into their schedule to bring back some of the players who, of course, missed the early pre-season through their European commitments, Olympics as well. But here we go. Silverware at stake. If you lose, you tend to say that this is the last game of pre-season. If you win, of course, it's the start of the real stuff, and I think we should look at it that way, whatever the outcome, from our neutral perspective. Mikel. Juan Mata was involved in the Olympics with Spain, but it was a very, very poor campaign for a country used to so many triumphs. Of course, he was part of the Spanish squad that won the Euros, actually scored in the final, you'll recall, as Torres did.
So he's going to have a free roll where he wants at the moment. He's already picked up the ball 3 times, just giving it away there under pressure from Tevez.
De Jong fighting in characteristic fashion. One of only 5 of this Manchester City starting 11 started the Community Shield at Wembley a year ago. Joe Hart's got this back problem. Pantolimos had an excellent pre-season, incidentally. And City won't feel weakened by the change they've had to make in goal. There's Aguero glancing on for Nasri, trying to force a way through. He's used a bit of will as well as skill, but they couldn't quite build from that, Manchester City. And Chelsea looked to counter-attack through Mata. Joust there between Kompany and Torres. Goes the way of the Manchester City skipper against the Chelsea striker. Nasri. Now Tevez. Kolarov. Really fizzing it in to where Aguero was arriving. Stuart, you're absolutely right to point out the 2 musketeers, they're calling them in the Manchester City camp, the combination play that they've been seeing from Aguero and Tevez, the 2 Argentines.
It's been absolutely brilliant in pre-season. They've got a good understanding, linking up with each other. In pre-season, Yaya Toure has been playing further up. Luis with the first foul in a dangerous area, getting a little bit too tight to Aguero. Aguero's hanging on to his shirt as well.
Milner's having a look at it. Nasri, who's in a position where he can get onto the same wavelength as Tevez and Aguero in freer play. Certainly Tevez has got this in his locker from this angle. Is Milner a decoy? Yes, he is. Tevez! And Cech just about got there. Chelsea not out of the wood yet in this particular passage of play. It's back with Tevez again. Turns away from Mata. That's more comfortable for Petr Cech.
Good free kick from Carlos Tevez, bending this over the 2-man wall. Didn't quite have enough pace to beat Petr Cech, but get the ball in play. Man City.
They've made a good start here. Kompany. De Jong. Zabaleta is the one who has been switched from right back to a left-sided centre-back for much of the pre-season. Aguero. Yaya Toure trying to thread it through to Nasri. He knows how close it was to getting to him.
Nasri's made 2 or 3 good runs already, trying to run beyond the front 2.
Forced forward by Lampard as Chelsea recognise quickly they need to match, at the very least, the sharp start from the champions.
Well, the one player that will be pleased that Man City are playing with the back three is Kolarov here, who commits the foul. There's the first challenge by Zabaleta, and when the ball comes out wide, Kolarov, it's in the tackle, but he will try and get forward. He's a much better attacking player, Kolarov, than he is defender.
As I understand it, Stuart, Roberto Mancini wanted to come up with something different. This may turn out in the end to be a plan B as the season opens out, but there have been games for Manchester City where they've struggled to break down teams even when they've had a lot of the ball.
I think you with De Jong challenging Frank Lampard. But the fact that they've used it in nearly every pre-season games would suggest to me that they may start the first Premier League game with a back three.
Which is at home to newly promoted Southampton. Kevin Friend having a word with Azar about the way he went to ground there. And Yaya Toure wants a bit more than that. But, Stuart Robson
Won't endear himself to watch in public if he goes to ground a little bit too easily, Hazard. He is brilliant when he comes in off that left-hand side onto his right foot.
There he is again. Trying to link up with Mata. There's a good edge to the opening exchanges here. That kind of edge, not all of it within the laws of the game. David Luiz apologises for dumping Aguero onto this slick turf, slicked by the shower, the heavy shower prior to kick-off.
Good play from Aguero, just taking the ball away from the Chelsea centre-half. 2 fouls that he's committed now, he's going to have to be careful.
Zabaleta, who was a scorer on that fateful day against Queen's Park Rangers. He will get his first goal of the season in the last game of the season. They needed Dzeko from the bench, and then Aguero in the nick of time to prize it away from Manchester United. As if I need to remind you. Tevez. That's Yaya Toure. Nasri. Beckoning Kolarov forward. Emphasise Stuart's point. Areas that Kolarov loves to get into.
That's what he does so well, and he gets his crosses in very early, Kolarov. He wasn't happy with the cross. Roberto Mancini there. He's been in excellent form as Kolarov throughout pre-season. Not so much this man, Savic.
All back for Chelsea. To Nasri's corner. A glance from Ivanovic. It'll be another corner.
Just watching that set play. Torres was marking Savic, and Savic got about a 10-yard run on him there. Torres really went to sleep.
It's another in-swinger. With Kolarov, the provider this time. It's up in the air from Lampard rather than away. He gets another touch and gets more distance. Get Chelsea out of their own penalty area. Chelsea's 10th appearance in the Shield, and they're looking for a 5th win.
Ramirez has got a bit of a problem. He's not quite sure whether to go to Zabaleta or to go to Kolarov. He's been caught in between two at the moment. Who's been bypassing him?
So Zabaleta, who plays a stray one. Lampard saw it coming. And that was Savage outmanoeuvred by Azar, who was caught, but the referee playing an advantage. Or maybe showing no sympathy again to Eden Hazard after that earlier escapade.
Savage, finger pointed at him by the referee. It was a punching challenge from behind. And 1v1 battle between Torres and Company. Company's winning it easily at the moment.
Zabaleta, Kolarov. Engaging start here. No sparring about this one. Both sides trying to land some heavy early blows, and Manchester City have come closer to achieving that aim. Zabaleta.
Every time Ivanovic comes out of his hole to go and get tight to Kolarov, Nasri makes a really good run in behind Ivanovic.
Remember a few years ago, Stuart, Ivanovic playing a right back in a Community Shield game at Wembley, and having got such a run around, he was taken off at half-time. But he seems to have this spot. Basinga, one of the departures, of course, was often the chosen one last season, although we weren't always sure who was doing the choosing. Credit to Roberto Di Matteo and the senior players who galvanised Chelsea after Las Boris left. But here's Tevez. And John Terry couldn't get out of the way. That's what he's saying anyway, and the referee's agreeing with the Chelsea skipper rather than the Argentine attacker.
Very slack from Mikel, giving the ball away. As we pinched it off him, and I think Tevez made the wrong decision there. It's a really good situation to get Aguero in. Savic is going to be booked for that earlier challenge on Hazard, I think.
I think it's a fair cop.